Peace and blessings unto the Akim throughout the four corners of this world that continue to push this gospel and all truth and in all sincerity. This is your brother Matt and I here from the GMS Trinidad camp. Coming to this way once again to do this here going to be a quick lesson. I'll start with this precept here, Psalms, book of Psalm 10 and verse 2. It says, "The wicked in his pride that persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorred." But the main point here is in verse 2, where it says, "The wicked in his pride that persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." And the wicked in this instance here is speaking about Esau. They imagine devices to trap and to ensnare us Israelites, to ensnare the poor, to see how they could further afflict us, to see how they could further oppress us daily, to see how they could get the ultimate plan is to actually get rid of us. You understand? And if they can't get rid of us, they must be able to, have all of us in their nets, meaning that they can track us, they could hear what we're doing, they could control our speech, they could control where we go, limit what we buy. Do you understand? But I just want to bring up this image here. This image here, it says, "Reporter who pushed concentration camps for unvaccinated dies at age 33. It says Ian Van Dael, a Canadian reporter who called for unvaccinated police to be fired and pushed for concentration camps for those who refused to get the COVID jab, has died." He was 33, and like the Most High, bringing his end upon him. It says Van Dael, who worked as a reporter and editor at the Financial Post and was previously producer at CNN Bloomberg, died after being hospitalized and declared neurologically dead, his family said. And a lot of these deaths where you're seeing, people just collapsing, they just dying in the sleep, or becoming as this one here saying neurologically dead. When they go back into it and track back, they wouldn't admit, but it actually goes back to the yab, because before, with all these yab that they push, people weren't dying, just falling down and dying, and athletes whose fitness is at peak, the medical condition is at peak, they're just falling down, dying in their 20s and in their 30s and stuff. So that leads you to one thing: the same ones who push, and it happened down here as well. The same ones who was pushing and who was selling out, they were taking money from the government to make advertisement, to sing songs, to encourage the public to take the yab. Some of them were the first ones to die. You understand? And that is just how it goes. Read over the scripture again. Psalms 10 and verse 2. It says, "The wicked in his pride that persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." So he imagined, men to be sent in concentration camp if they don't take the yab. Well, look what happened to him when he took it. You understand? So Psalms 35 and verse 8. It says, "Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he had hid catch himself into that very destruction, let him fall. You know? You know what I read from verse 7? It says, for without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. And was the reason for bringing about this, this so-called plague, so-called pandemic, to force us to take a yab to kill us? What was the reason for that? There's no proper reasoning, no logical reasoning behind it. They just want to see, as the scripture said, in the pride they will persecute the poor. So they just do it because let me read a precept. It's Proverbs, I believe that is either Proverbs or Micah. It's Proverbs 4 and verse 16. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. And the ones that they want to fall is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And that is why I have to be aware and circumspect, about what's taking place in this day and age. And a lot of you are lost. Let me read over the Psalms 37, 38 and 7, 35, sorry, 35 and 7. Psalms 35 and verse 7. It says, for without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he had hid catch himself into that very destruction, let him fall. But read this a precept here in Proverbs 26 and verse 27. It says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. And that is what happened to that Edomite. And as I said before, he's not the only one that has happened to, but he's one of them that make news, because of the extreme measures he wanted the government to implement. And that remind me of Haman and Esther. Esther 7 and verse. Let's get straight to the point. Esther 7 and verse 9, it says, and Habonah, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. And that all goes back to the Most High being in control of, as the scripture said, the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord. As a river, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So they might have their plans, but the Most High have another plan, which includes, sparing your life. While they may try to destroy your life, the Most High have a plan to spare your life and to take theirs. Understand? So these men who dig a pit, who set a trap, who set a net, they are the same ones gonna fall into it. And when destruction come upon them, nobody is gonna feel sorry for them, because they wanted to see destruction of other people. So who gonna feel remorseful or feel sad that these very same ones died? No one. So have a lot more of these things to come. You understand? Because there's measures that people want to see put in place because you didn't take a yab or because you didn't take it's gonna be the MOTB next. They go push for the concentration camp and they self when the troops come in they self gonna be the ones that die. Because the Lord's men are not the ones that are gonna be destroyed when the troops come in. Some of us gonna be martyrs, but to say destroyed, you're not gonna be destroyed. You are the ones gonna be destroyed. You understand? So with that, I wanna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Barasham Yahushai, Barasham Harakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders and greatness, not surely do well. Peace and blessings unto the Akim, through the four corners of this world, and continue to push this world in all diligence and sincerity. And until next time, say Shalom.